You're listening to KFWB News Talk 980. My name is Les Brown. I'm Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. And I want to thank you so much for joining us. And I'd like to request a resignation of Emiliano from ever predicting the weather. He's a great weather predictor who told us that the weather was going to be bad and I should not show up at the fair tomorrow. And obviously, he should not quit his day job of producing and just stick to just producing and not try and predict the weather, because he was wrong and denied me the opportunity of seeing you and you're seeing me live and in living color. Wow. And just for that, he has a ponytail that he's been growing for some time. I'm going to clip it immediately when he goes to sleep here at the station. What a beautiful day today it is today. They said it was going to rain. Where's the rain? Yeah, whatever. Listen, this program is different than any program you ever hear in radio. You know why? Because we don't talk about politics. We don't talk about the problems of the world. This is about you, and it's positive. Radio positive. Give me a break. Well, I invite you to join in conversations, and we usually have some spirited conversations on a variety of topics, and I enjoy hearing your story. I want to ask you, no budging. Have you ever been in a position where you say, you know what? I'm not giving in. I'm not going to compromise. I'm not going to budge. You've heard all week the news that unless the Republicans and the Democrats can find a way to agree on a budget by 9 p.m. tonight, local time, the federal government will shut down for the first time in 15 years. All week, both sides have had countless number of meetings and negotiations in order to hammer out a deal. As I'm speaking right now. Now, the reason I bring this issue up, not for political reasons, because we don't talk about politics, as I said, but the reason I ask you, I want you to think about a time in your life when you just said, you know what, I'm not giving in on this. I'm standing on this on principle. I had a lady yesterday, she called in and she said that she's married, she has children, and her husband is a good husband, he's a good father, and he does marijuana. And she said, look, I'm not budging on this. You cannot continue to do this and be around our kids and be married to me. You either give this up or you're going to lose your family. She will not budge. And he won't budge. He said, it's not all that bad. It's not that big of a deal. I had a son who he felt the same way. I said, come on, you cannot be with me, be around me. Nobody's going to come up and arrest you and then find marijuana on you, and then I get arrested. They won't say Les Brown's son. They're not going to call your name. They're going to say Les Brown's son. I'm the one that's known. You're not known. Nobody knows anything about you. So you can't have that around me. Your mother can tell you all she wants. Oh, it's no big deal. Your father think he's all that because he's never smoked. If he did, he probably wouldn't be so uptight. Whatever. I just wouldn't budge. And it cost me a lot of time and a strange relationship with my son for a very, very long time, because that was more important to him than his relationship with me. And my not having that in my space, in my environment, was more important to me than spending time with him. I just wouldn't budge. I wouldn't compromise. I used to be a state legislator in Columbus, Ohio. And in the Ohio legislature, when they voted on the budget, we had a critical issue. Ohio State University, when they wanted money, they just got their money. But when Central State University wanted money, they had to come to the comptroller and they had to grovel. They had to come and beg for their money. So 10 of the African American representatives say, look, we want you, Mr. Speaker, Speaker of the House, and other fellow members of the House to treat Central State University the same way you treat Ohio State University. They don't have to come in and grovel and beg for their money. They tell you what they want. You write the check. Here's what Central State say what they want. Write the check. And you want them to come in and grovel for crumbs. You're not giving them anything but crumbs anyhow. And you want them to crawl in and beg you for that? No. And if you don't do it, you're not going to get out 10 votes. And they didn't do it. And so I was newly elected. I was the youngest and I was the strongest. And we were in a room. And so C.J. McLin, who was alive at that time, from Dayton, Ohio. C.J. was a very powerful man, an unusual leader, very soft-spoken, smoked a cigar, and he said, Les Brown? I said, yes, sir. He said, I want you to stand at the door. You're the youngest one here, and you're the strongest one here. Gentlemen, do you see Les Brown standing at the door? They said, yes. Do you understand that that's a young, strong man? They said, yes. And he's a young, strong, crazy man. Do you understand that? He said, yes. Said, don't nobody try and leave. You know, that was my job. I enjoyed that so much. And one guy, Bill Mallory, he got up, he said, I'm just going to tell the speaker that we're not going to vote, and I'll be right back. And C.J. McLin said, Mr. Brown? I said, yes, sir. He said, don't let the gentleman leave. I said, Mr. Mallory, please, sir. I can run faster with you than I can without you. Please be seated. And so we held out. We held out. They needed the 10 votes in order for the Ohio budget to pass, and they didn't budge, and we didn't budge, and it did not pass. And fortunately, the following day, we were able to come together, and we were able to negotiate, and we were able to work things out. Central State University did not have to go begging for their money. They got their check written just like Ohio State, the Ohio State University. Have you ever been in a situation where you just refuse to budge on principle? You refuse to budge because of the money. You refuse to budge because of your pride. You refuse to budge because what was at stake. You refuse to budge because you said it just isn't right. No. This here I stand, for I can do no other. I want you to call me and let me know a time when you decided that you weren't going to budge, that you were not going to move, or maybe you were the mediator. Maybe you were the facilitator. Maybe you were the person who had to work things out between the two people. How did you do it, and what were the strategies that you implemented? Let us know that. How do you begin to work things out between people who are the opposite side of the fence? The number to call is 888-539-2980. That's 888-539-2980. Don't tell me I'm not budging. I'm not going to call you now. You better budge. Call me right now. The number to call is 888-539-2980. I want to hear when you decided you were not going to budge, and you didn't. My name is Les Brown. I'm Mrs. Baby Brown's baby boy. I thank you so much for being with us from now until 4 o'clock. Give me a call, 888-539-2980.